Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo present the new Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson and Tom Conway as Sherlock Holmes. Once again, it's time to drop in for a visit with our old friend, Dr. Watson, storyteller beyond compare and confidant of the immortal Sherlock Holmes. And here he is, waiting to greet us in his familiar study. Good evening, Dr. Watson. I must admit that on such a cold and foggy evening, your fireplace looks even more cheery than usual.
And a very good evening to you, Mr. Bell. Here, come and sit down.
This chair feels good. Thank you, Dr. Watson. Nasty night out.
Yes, it certainly is. In weather like this, I find my old wound gives me an occasional twinge. Giselle bullet, you know. Souvenir of a border skirmish in Afghanistan. Long before you were born, my boy.
I've always been amazed, Dr. Watson, that with all the tight spots you and Sherlock Holmes found yourselves in, you were fortunate enough to escape with only one bullet wound.
Yes, Holmes used to say that I was born to be hanged. But I can remember more than one narrow escape. As a matter of fact, there's a souvenir of one of them right before you on the mantelpiece.
On the mantelpiece? Oh. Small pot of ivy, a framed photograph of you and Mr. Holmes, 2 sporting prints, and a small blue saucer. Not very exciting.
You see, Mr. Bell, but you do not observe, as my friend Sherlock Holmes used to say.
Oh.
That small blue saucer from which an ordinary house cat was accustomed to eat its evening meal was the key that saved an innocent man from the shadow of the gallows and brought a fiendishly clever murderer to justice. You will find it among my notes under the heading of the clue of the hungry cat.
Dr. Watson, I can hardly wait for the story. But first, here's something I'd like to pass along to you men. Every up-and-coming man today wants to look like a success, and neatly groomed hair adds so much to a man's appearance. So may I please suggest Kreml Hair Tonic? See if you don't agree that there's all the difference in the world in Kreml. Kreml keeps dry, stubborn hair in perfect order from morning till night. It gives hair a nice, attractive luster, too. Yet Kreml never plasters hair down with thick, dust-catching grease. It never leaves hair looking or feeling sticky or gummy. Kreml goes in for modern, more natural-looking hair grooming. The kind in such great demand today. Why not try it, men? Kreml. Kreml Hair Tonic. Now, Dr. Watson, how about the clue of the hungry cat?
Well, Mr. Bell, it all began one day when Holmes and I, finding it a bit early for lunch as we walked down the Strand, turned into the Old Bailey, wondering if the jury had yet brought in the verdict in a sensational murder case which Holmes had been following in the papers with considerable interest. As we entered the courtroom, we heard the clerk of the court saying,
"Prisoner at the bar, you stand convicted of murder by the verdict of a jury of your peers. Have you anything to say before judgment is pronounced upon you?"
"Only, my lords and gentlemen of the jury, that I am innocent of this crime."
Silence in the court.
Robert Saunders, you have been found guilty of the murder of Amanda Post. The sentence of this court is that you be taken to that place from whence you came, and that 2 weeks from today, on the 12th of October, you be hanged by the neck until you are dead. May the Lord have mercy on your soul.
I must say that fellow Saunders had it coming to him, Holmes. Open and shut case if I ever heard one.
I wonder, Watson.
Oh, now really, Holmes, even you can't find anything to wonder about in the killing of that poor woman. Her husband was away, that fellow Saunders saw his chance, broke into the house, robbed Mr. Post's cash box, and evidently woke up Mrs. Post. He knew that she'd recognize him, so he made quite sure that she'd never testify by choking the poor woman to death. He then tried to burn the house down to conceal his crime. If you ask me, hanging's too good for him.
The cash box is what intrigues me, Watson.
And what, pray, is intriguing about the cash box? Why, that fellow Sanders admitted that he stole £8 out of it.
Can you tell me, Watson, why any sane man, and I heard no testimony adduced to prove that Sanders was insane, should steal the sum of £8 out of a cash box that contained 65?
Oh, let me see. Well, perhaps the fellow was suddenly frightened. Or the balance might have been in large notes that could have been traced. No way to the chops for me. They had it, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, very good, sir.
Sorry, Watson, but I can't accept your alternatives. Sanders' only defense, and I grant you that it was a feeble one, was that Mr. Post had owed him £8 and that was his reason for taking only that sum.
Oh, delicious. They do chop here better than any place in London. And I suppose you believe Sanders' story.
Despite your evident amusement, I do.
Well, all I can say, Holmes, is that... Look, that girl over there in the corner, the one who's crying into her handkerchief, didn't we see her in the court just now?
Not only did we see her, but as you should know from the drawings which have been published in every newspaper these last few days, she's the fiancée of the convicted man.
I say, Holmes, where are you going?
Come along, Watson. My curiosity is aroused.
Good heavens. The last time your curiosity was aroused, I found myself in the Sahara Desert in the middle of July.
I beg your pardon, Miss Caldwell.
Oh.
I couldn't help noticing your evident distress. And although I don't wish to hold out any false hopes, let me assure you that I share your belief that your fiancé has been convicted of a crime of which he is innocent.
You really? Oh, leave me alone. You're another of those newspaper reporters.
I assure you, my dear, that I'm not. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes? Oh, Mr. Holmes, you really believe that Bob is innocent?
Your fiancé, Miss Caldwell, is a young man of good education and very evident intelligence. I cannot bring myself to believe that he stupidly and brutally killed Mrs. Post to conceal a minor theft.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, I can't tell you what it means to me just to hear you say that. Why, even Mr. Briggs, when he was defending Bob in that horrible courtroom, didn't speak as though he believed Bob's own story. But it's true. I know it's true. I haven't much money, Mr. Holmes, but if
It's
you'll
not a question of money, Miss Caldwell. I have an ingrained prejudice against seeing the innocent convicted. Suppose you come with Dr. Watson and myself while we pay a visit to the scene of the crime. As the next-door neighbor of the house where the tragedy occurred, Mrs. Roberts, won't you tell us in your own words just what happened?
Well, Mr. Holmes, although it was some time ago, it still catches me all of a sudden when I think of it. There takes me aback, it does. Sometimes I come all over dizzy like...
Too much gin, if you ask me.
Quiet, Watson. I can well believe it, Mrs. Roberts.
But please, Mrs. Roberts, won't you tell Mr. Holmes what you remember?
Well, that morning, Mr. Post was going away on business to Brighton. Going to be gone a couple of days, he was. Now, around noontime, I happened to look out of me window. Not that I'm the type that's forever minding other people's business, you'll understand. And I seen him a-standing in the front door just as he was a-saying goodbye to her.
Saying? But I understood from the evidence that Mrs. Post was stone deaf.
When I say saying, I mean he was waving goodbye to her, like he always did when he went away.
Did you see Mrs. Post wave back to him?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes. At least I seen the curtain move inside the front parlor window, so I guess she was a-waving to him from inside.
It's fairly conclusive, Holmes. The poor woman was alive when her husband left, and she was dead after the fire. No one else could possibly have killed her.
Bob didn't. I don't care what you say.
And after Mr. Post left, Mrs. Roberts, what happened then?
Nothing. I was busy with me housework, frying up a nice bit of fish for me old man's supper, I was, and I didn't notice nothing next door until about 8 o'clock that evening.
8 o'clock? But the fire wasn't until midnight.
But maybe it's silly of me to mention it. It wasn't anything important.
When a murder has been committed, Mrs. Roberts, no fact is unimportant.
Well, I never did. It was only at about 8 o'clock, a cat Minnie came scratching and yowling around me back door. Hungry she was.
Most enlightening.
Now, really, Holmes...
Was that the cat's usual habit, Mrs. Roberts?
No. Amanda Post was loony about that cat. Gave it its supper every night at 6 regular. Liver she used to feed it at 6p a pound. Now that's scandalous, if you ask me, with poor people starving.
Yes, I see. Then what did you do?
Well, I fed the cat, and then I went to bed. And the old man and I were as sound asleep as two blessed angels in paradise when we heard the fire engines.
No, Harrigan. The place is going up like a tinderbox. If there's anyone in there, there's nothing we can do for them now.
Oh, it was horrible hearing them say that, Mr. Holmes. We were still thinking that deaf as she was, poor Mrs. Post had not been awakened by the crackle of the flames. And it wasn't until the next day, when the men from Scotland Yard were looking around the wreckage, that they told us that she'd been strangled in her bed before the fire ever started. Strangled by that smooth-spoken, murdering young devil, that Robert Sanders.
No, it isn't true. That's a lie. Bob couldn't
Control yourself, please, my dear Miss Caldwell. Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. I greatly appreciate the assistance you've given us. Good day.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Holmes. It's been a pleasure, I'm sure.
But, Mr. Holmes, all that woman's evidence came out in court. There's nothing there to help you set Robert free.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right. I'm dashed if I can make head or tail out of that stream of nonsense that woman spouted at us.
Don't be too hasty, Watson. I should like to call your attention to the curious incident of Minnie's supper.
But that night, the cat didn't get her supper.
That was the curious incident.
Holmes, will you put down that violin for a moment and pay attention?
This is the third time since we got home that you've interrupted what I'm sure might prove a magnificent composition, my dear Watson. What's the matter now?
Well, listen to this note. My dear Mr. Holmes, may I request your immediate presence at my home on a matter of the greatest possible importance. I enclose my check for 500 guineas as a retainer, signed Geoffrey Brookfield. In brackets, the Earl of Brookfield. 500 guinea retainer. You calmly sit here on Baker Street playing the violin.
If you like, you may write to Lord Brookfield and tell him that the paintings over which he's so worried have been sold by his son to provide jewels for the dancer with whom the young man is enamored. And send his check back to him with my compliments. Come in.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson, what is it?
A gentleman to see Mr. Holmes, sir. Mr. Post.
Mr. Post?
Oh, yes. Show him up, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
You act as though you expected this fellow Post.
When I put a ferret down a hole, Watson, I usually do so in the expectation of starting a rabbit.
You mean those questions of yours, Mrs. Roberts, this afternoon? Huh?
Our garrulous friend, Mrs. Roberts, is not the type to keep a visit from Sherlock Holmes a secret from the neighborhood.
Mr. Post, Mr. Holmes.
Good evening, Mr. Post.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
Quite. And this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, sir.
Doctor.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I prefer to stand. I must confess I'm somewhat upset by what my former neighbor, Mrs. Roberts, told me this evening.
Oh? What was that?
That you and Dr. Watson and that young woman were asking questions this afternoon.
There's nothing for you to be upset about, Mr. Post. But I confess that the unfortunate matter of your late wife's death had certain features which seemed to me odd, shall we say?
But this morning, Sanders was found guilty and condemned to be hanged.
I'm aware of that. But as long as you're here, Mr. Post, I'm sure you won't mind answering a question or two.
Not at all. Though I fail to see
what...
Oh,
do sit down, Mr. Post. You're making me nervous, walking back and forth, back and forth.
I'm awfully sorry, Doctor. Ever since this horrible thing happened, I can't seem to sit still.
Yes, of course. I'm so sorry.
This fellow Sanders, a former employee of yours, wasn't he, Mr. Post?
He was. I sacked him. Fellow was always nosing about things that didn't concern him.
And according to him, you still owed him £8 back wages.
Oh, not a bit of truth to it.
I'm sure there wasn't. After all, a matter of £8 could mean very little to you. You'll pardon my mentioning it, Mr. Post, but you must be a man of considerable wealth now.
If you mean since my wife's death, yes, I am. When I came to England from Australia a couple of years ago, all I had was a few £100s and some business experience. I met and married my dear Amanda within the past year, Mr. Holmes, and a finer wife no man ever had.
I can assure you that I'd give all the wealth she left me and a dozen times over to have her back with me.
Of course. The sentiment does you credit, sir.
Quite. And now that I've met you, Mr. Post, let me assure you that any doubts I may have had in the matter are entirely resolved.
I'm glad to hear it, Mr. Holmes. You'll pardon my intrusion, but, well, you understand.
Yes, indeed, sir, indeed.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Post.
Pleasant fellow. Well, Holmes, I'm glad that your doubts have finally been set at rest.
Yes. Any lingering doubts I may have had as to Sanders' innocence have now been completely removed.
Huh? Sanders' innocence?
Watson, does it occur to you that there's something about our friend Mr. Post that doesn't quite ring true?
Oh, come, Holmes. Seemed to me a fine, upstanding fellow.
But did you happen to notice his curious way of pacing up and down?
Well, the poor man's overwrought. Probably can't keep still. It's natural enough, being a doctor.
Our sitting room, Watson, is 23 feet in length, with no obstructions in the area where Mr. Post chose to do his pacing. Yet he turned automatically again and again at each end of what I estimate to be an 8-foot walk.
8 foot? Well, what are you driving at?
8 feet, Watson, happens to be exactly the length of a prison cell.
In just a moment, we'll rejoin Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson as they try to solve the mystery of the strange death of Amanda Post. Did you know that a recent survey showed Kreml hair tonic was the hair tonic preferred among America's top-flight executives and better-dressed men? Well, this isn't at all surprising, because Kreml is famous for giving hair that smooth, well-groomed appearance, for which there is no substitute. And what's so important, Kreml does lots more than just keep hair looking handsome. Kreml removes dandruff flakes. It promptly relieves itching of scalp due to dryness and actually helps condition the hair, in that it leaves it feeling so much softer. Notice how much easier your hair is to comb, how every lock falls right in place and stays that way all day long. And remember, whereas Kreml gives hair a rich, attractive luster, it never leaves hair looking or feeling greasy. Ask for an application of Kreml at your barber shop. Buy a bottle at any drugstore. Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic. And now, Dr. Watson, what did Sherlock Holmes do after he called your attention to the odd behavior of Mr. Post?
Well, it was too late that night for us to do anything, although Holmes did send off a cable to Australia asking for all available information on the mysterious Mr. Post. But bright and early the next morning, Holmes and I set off in a hansom cab, almost before I'd finished my breakfast. Our destination being the fire brigade station nearest the late Mrs. Post's house.
You're convinced the fire was incendiary, Captain?
No question in my mind at all, Mr. Holmes. Blazing like a Guy Fawkes piece it was by the time we got there. After we finally had her wetted down, there was a smell of paraffin oil strong enough to choke you all over the place.
So you very rightly sent for the police?
Oh, I did that, sir, just as soon as I found that poor woman lying dead in her bed, what was left of it. Though I thought she died of suffocation.
Well, the medical evidence that she'd been strangled before the fire started was clear enough. I know Dr. Richardson, a sound man, very sound.
And it was you who found the cash box, Captain?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Being of stout metal, it hadn't come to no harm. Very hot fire like that sometimes is a freakish way of burning some things to a crisp and leaving others almost undamaged. The thing we often see in our business.
I wish I could have inspected the house the morning after the fire. Watson, this shows you the disadvantage of attempting to follow a cold trail.
Well, I'm sure I don't know what you expect to find.
I don't know myself, but there must be something.
Perhaps it won't do you any good, Mr. Holmes, because it's a regular rag-bag collection of odds and ends. But most of the things from Mrs. Post's bedroom are right back there on that table in the corner. Those that weren't too badly burned. They would have been thrown out this morning. The police made us keep them until after the trial.
Capital.
Well, you're welcome to take a look at them, sir.
Phew. Smells more like a salvage sale. Curious-looking collection. And what is that horrible-looking object?
Some kind of a stuffed fish that was mounted on a plaque. It says, souvenir of Brighton. And over there is the poor woman's horsehair pillow. That's hot stuff to burn.
What's this?
A Bible with its covers burned off. and an alarm clock that had been on the bureau. It was still running when we picked it up, as a matter of fact.
Set for noon, I see.
And this strange-looking thing turned out to be the late Mrs. Post's corset, all that was left of it.
Rather gruesome, I must say. Makes me think of the relics we'll all have to leave behind when we shuffle off this mortal coil, eh?
Don't be morbid, Watson.
Oh, sorry.
And here's some silver that was on the dresser. And these pieces of the pitcher and basin and the soap dish. I'm afraid that's the whole collection.
Well, not much to be learnt from that, eh, Holmes?
As I've told you on previous occasions, Watson, you see, but you do not observe.
And what, may I ask, is to be observed from this insanitary and odorous collection?
Only enough, I trust, to remove Robert Sanders from the shadow of the gallows and to substitute the estimable Mr. Post in his place.
Good gracious me.
Would you be good enough, Watson, to ring for Mrs. Hudson?
All right, Holmes, if you say so, but how you expect a frightened Post into confessing that he murdered his wife and then set the house on fire while he was 50 miles away in Brighton is beyond me.
You are in possession of the same facts that I am, Watson. And since you know my methods, you should be able to reach the same conclusions. I must admit... Come in.
Oh, you rang, Mr. Holmes?
We're expecting a visitor, Mrs. Hudson. Mr. Post, who was here last night.
Oh, I remember him, sir. A very nice gentleman. He tipped me a shilling on his way out.
I have reason to think that he'll be here very shortly. Will you show him up as soon as he arrives?
All right, sir.
You were saying?
I was about to say that the problem no longer lies in the solution of the crime. That, of course, is obvious to anyone.
Well, yes, of course. Certainly obvious.
The difficulty is I haven't a shred of evidence. Therefore, the only possibility of justice being done is through forcing a confession from Mr. Post by suddenly facing him with an utterly unexpected reconstruction of what actually happened. I'd suggest, Watson, that you arm yourself with your service revolver. I have reason to think that Mr. Post may react violently.
Really? Loaded and ready. But I do think, Holmes, that if you're so sure that Post is the murderer, you might at least tell the police.
I very much doubt if Scotland Yard would admit itself completely in the wrong without proof, which, of course, I haven't got. No, Watson, Come in.
Good evening, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson.
Good evening.
I received your note, Mr. Holmes, asking me to call on you at once on a matter of the greatest importance.
I'm sorry to trouble you at this hour of night, Mr. Post, but there have been one or two puzzling questions in connection with your wife's death which have been bothering Dr. Watson and myself.
But I thought you said last night that all your doubts had been resolved.
They had, Mr. Post, but I didn't specify what doubts.
I'm afraid you're being a bit cryptic. I must beg you, Mr. Holmes, to come to the point.
Very well, Mr. Post. Let me present to you a reconstruction of what I can only term a highly ingenious crime.
I'm listening.
A certain man who, for the moment, shall be nameless, meets and courts a wealthy woman who, despite the handicap of her deafness, is still attractive, and marries her.
Very interesting, Mr. Holmes.
Then, ruthlessly and in cold blood, he strangles this poor, foolish, credulous woman, knowing that under her will he will inherit her fortune.
I know what you're insinuating, and I...
Then you admit?
I admit nothing. There's no reason why I have to stay here and listen to you insult my wife's memory.
Sit down, Mr. Post. You don't dare leave till you discover just how much I really do know.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. And just how does this man do what you say he did without getting caught?
After he's strangled her, and his other preparations have been made, he stands in the front door of their house, ostensibly waving goodbye to the wife who already lies dead upon her bed.
Holmes, Mrs. Roberts said that...
The fond farewell is answered, Watson, by a curtain that moves in one of the front windows. Who is there to know that the curtain has merely moved at the twitch of a string held in the murderer's hand?
At least, Mr. Holmes, I must congratulate you on your ingenuity.
But there were a couple of things the husband overlooked. First, Minnie, his wife's pet cat. Minnie comes to the back door at the usual hour. Her plaintive scratchings produce no result. And why? Because the wife who usually feeds Minnie already lies dead.
That's what you meant, Holmes.
Precisely, Watson. After which the house is silent until midnight, when suddenly a fire breaks forth. A fire of such intensity as to consume almost all the evidence of the crime. And, most important of all, a fire which was meant to produce in the eye of the beholder an unshakable alibi for the husband, who at that moment was so far away. The fact that Sanders chose to break in that same night was sheer good luck for the murderer, for it gave the police a ready-made suspect.
And now let me ask you one question, Mr. Holmes. Just how did the husband of whom you speak produce this conflagration while he was at least 50 miles away?
Probably by means of some simple attachment connected to the alarm clock in his wife's room, which was set to go off at 12 midnight, Watson, not 12 noon, as you surmised.
Good heavens, Holmes.
An attachment which was later destroyed by the heat of the fire.
Very pretty piece of fiction, Mr. Holmes. Of course, it would never stand up in a court of law.
I'm not so sure, Mr. Post.
Oh, I am. After all, it would just be your word against mine.
Yes. The word of Sherlock Holmes against that of an ex-convict.
Why, you...
Two of whose previous wives died in Australia under suspicious circumstances.
I won't listen to any more.
What's been said is sufficient.
They'll never get me for those other two, nor for this one
Then
either.
you'll do it, Mick.
Yes, yes! I killed my wife, but you'll never see me in court.
Nice work, Watson. Is he badly hurt?
I don't think so. Just a flesh wound in his shoulder. Knocked him out for a few minutes, that's all. He'll live, I'm afraid.
Watson, if you hadn't shot first...
Oh, it's nothing, my dear fellow, nothing at all. Don't mention no fellow. Tell me, how did you ever deduce that whole story just from the fact that the cat didn't get her supper?
I didn't, Watson.
Oh, you said that...
The incident of the cat's supper served to make me suspicious. I only became certain at the fire station when I saw the alarm clock.
But, Holmes, I saw that alarm clock. Seemed like a perfectly ordinary clock to me.
As I remarked before, Watson, you see, but you do not observe. Why would a woman who is stone deaf have set an alarm clock to waken her at 12 o'clock?
Well, of all the blind idiots...
Quite. And now, old chap, ring for Mrs. Hudson, will you? I think perhaps the police might be interested in our friend, Mr. Post.
Was Mr. Post convicted, Dr. Watson?
Oh, he was, Mr. Bell, when he was confronted with the evidence in court, plus the cablegram that Holmes had received from Australia, telling about Post's rather murky past. He went all to pieces, broke down and confessed everything. Of course, Robert Saunders was immediately set free.
I see. And now, Dr. Watson, before you tell us about next week's story, may I ask our lady listeners this question?
Oh, of course, my dear fellow, of course.
Did you know that the makers of Kreml hair tonic also make a remarkably beautifying shampoo? Yes, and quite naturally, it's called Kreml shampoo. The famous Powers models were among the first to discover its amazingly beautifying action. And here's their consensus of opinion.
There's nothing better than Kreml shampoo to keep hair shining bright for days. Each tiny strand just gleaming with natural glossy luster.
Kreml shampoo works like magic, even in the hardest water. Its rich, active foam penetrates right to the scalp and removes all loose dandruff as well as the dirt.
Oh, and don't forget about its beneficial oil base. This helps keep hair from becoming dry or brittle and leaves the hair so much softer and silkier.
We always use Kreml shampoo at our house, and my wife is smart. She buys the large family size. Kreml. Kreml shampoo. And now, Dr. Watson, what about next week?
Well, now, let me see. Next week, I think I'll tell you about the incredible and rather grim happenings that transpired in the ancestral home of the Burleys on the storm-swept Cornish coast, and how Sherlock Holmes once again came to grips with that arch-fiend of crime, the sinister Professor Moriarty.
Tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure was suggested by an incident in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Boscombe Valley Mystery. Nigel Bruce appeared by permission of California Pictures, and Tom Conway through the courtesy of Eagle Lion Pictures. This is Joseph Bell speaking for Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo, and inviting you to be with us next week at this same time, when Dr. Watson will tell us about Sherlock Holmes' encounter with Professor Moriarty. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company. Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo present the new Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson and Tom Conway as Sherlock Holmes. Now, once again, let's drop in on the famous colleague of Sherlock Holmes, our good friend, Dr. Watson. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
And a very good evening to you, Mr. Bell. I'd almost given up hope of your coming tonight.
Well, I know it's pretty late, Dr. Watson, but I saw that your light was still on, so I thought I'd drop in.
I'm glad that you did, Mr. Bell. Applying the methods of my friend Sherlock Holmes, I would venture a guess that you're on your way home from the theater.
Amazing deduction, Dr. Watson.
Elementary, Mr. Bell. Isn't that a theater program I see sticking out of your pocket?
Of course.
Oh, what was the play?
Hamlet. Very fine production, too. Have you seen it?
No, not lately, but I think I can claim to be one of the very few men in this world to have seen a far older Hamlet than any that you saw performed tonight.
An older Hamlet? I don't quite understand.
Some 400 years older. You've heard me speak of Professor Moriarty?
The arch-villain whom Sherlock Holmes considered his most worthy opponent?
Precisely. I think that Professor Moriarty would cheerfully have given his right arm to possess the Hamlet to which I'm referring. At least he was quite willing to commit murder for it. I remember... Oh, but here I am monopolizing the conversation when I know that you've got something quite important to tell our listeners.
Yes, Dr. Watson, I'd like to tell our listeners about a modern trend in hair grooming that's in such great demand today by men who value their appearance. It's called Kreml Hair Tonic. Frankly, man, Kreml is the only hairdressing I've ever found that really makes my hair stay in place. An outstanding feature of Kreml is that it always keeps hair so neatly groomed, yet never gives it that cheap, greasy look. Kreml never leaves hair full of sticky goo. Your hair feels so soft and looks so natural. And men, don't tell me that you won't be mightily pleased when your wife or sweetheart remarks how attractive your hair always looks. How it feels so nice to touch, never greasy or sticky. It's spelled Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic. Now, Dr. Watson, what about Professor Moriarty and the original Hamlet? I'm all ears.
It all began in the most commonplace manner imaginable. I was walking down the street with Holmes in answer to completely routine call from Scotland Yard.
Hurry up, Watson. Don't lag.
I must say, Holmes, that as a medical man, I heartily endorse this recent passion of yours for long, brisk walks.
My dear Watson, the constant succession of dull cases with which we've recently been favored leaves me with so much surplus energy that I can only sleep by exercising myself into a state of utter and stuporous exhaustion.
Look out! Good heavens, that carriage!
Fetch a doctor! Fetch a
Holmes,
doctor!
did you see that? That carriage ran right over that old man.
Poor devil.
I better see what I'm going to do for him, Holmes.
Well, that's your métier, Watson. Look after the poor chap. I must be getting on to the yard.
Move to one side, please. Move to one side, please. I'm a doctor.
Let the doctor through.
I'm all right, sir. I'm all right, thank you.
Well, there are no bones broken, I'm glad to say. Here, let me help you to stand up.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I'm all right. Quite all right. Very kind of you to come to my assistance.
Oh, not at all. I'm a doctor.
At least I picked a good spot for my accident. I see there's a pub right across the way. I hope you'll at least let me have the pleasure of standing you a drink.
That's the quickest fee I ever received. Lead the way, sir.
Two whiskies and sodas, miss.
Right, sir.
Allow me to introduce myself, sir. My name's Franklin Burley.
Oh, and here's my card, Mr. Burley.
Not the Dr. Watson.
Oh, if you mean the little paper I wrote on the common cold in the last issue of the Lancet.
I don't know about that, but aren't you Sherlock Holmes' colleague?
Yes, I am.
God sent you to me, Dr. Watson.
Oh, really?
I've been wanting to put my problem into competent hands.
What do you mean?
I didn't stumble in front of that carriage, Dr. Watson. I was pushed. Someone's been trying to murder me.
Now, Mr. Burley,
I tell you, it's the truth. 2 weeks ago, a wheel came off the carriage that I was driving. A most convenient accident. Last Wednesday, as I was passing St. George's in Hanover Square, an enormous balk of timber fell, missing me by less than a yard.
Well, why on earth should anybody want to kill you?
Here you are, gents.
Oh, thank you.
Because I saw it, Dr. Watson.
Saw what?
I saw the ghost of the Burleys. which no man may see and live.
Oh, now, my dear fellow. After all, this is the 19th century.
We're a very old family, the Burleys. Not nobility, but just as old, just as proud, and just as poor. My father left me 2 inheritances. The magnificent Burley Library, which has been in our family for over 300 years, and the Burley ghost. Oh, you needn't look at me like that. I'd always scoffed, too, when I heard tales of the ghost. But a week ago, I saw it in the library.
Very well, Mr. Burley. May I ask whose ghost it's supposed to be?
The original collection of books in the library was stolen from an abbey expropriated by Henry VIII. When the abbot resisted, he was killed, and it's his ghost that, according to legend, haunts the library.
I don't suppose you could describe the ghost?
That's where you're wrong, Dr. Watson. I saw it, or him, if you prefer, quite clearly. He was extremely tall, very thin. His forehead a high, pale curve, with his eyes 2 sunken pits of blackness.
Oh, gracious me.
But most of all, I was struck by the slow, almost hypnotic, constant oscillation of his head from side to side in a manner which I can only describe as curiously and horribly reptilian. You and Mr. Holmes must help me, Dr. Watson. You must. I can see from your expression that you think I'm merely suffering from delusions, imagining persecutions that do not exist, but I tell you, my life is at stake.
Mr. Burley, as a medical man, I'll admit that at least you believe you're telling the truth. Tell me, do you live alone?
No, my son lives with me. A good enough sort, though I could wish he had a bit more purpose in life. But his wife...
What about his wife?
When my son was in Ceylon running a tea plantation, he married a half-caste woman. She's utterly strange, a terrible creature. I more than half suspect she's behind everything that's happened.
Rather a weird alliance, isn't it, between your ghost and your son's wife? All right, Mr. Burley, I'll speak to Holmes, if that's the only thing that'll set your mind at rest. It won't be the first time that he's driven a ghost back to its lair. No, do stop scraping on that violin of yours, Holmes. I'm trying to tell you about this poor chap's delusions.
I assure you, Watson, you've been receiving my closest attention. So your friend Mr. Burley suspects his son's half-caste wife. Go on.
Well, that's all there is to it. I promised him that I'd tell you his story, although obviously the poor man is the victim of a persecution phobia.
I wonder, Watson. I wonder.
Oh, now, really, Holmes.
There are certain definite points of interest. That description of the ghost, for instance. Tall, very thin, high forehead, with a constant oscillation of his head in a reptilian manner. Who does that remind you of, Watson?
Remind me of? I don't know.
Could it be anyone but our friend Moriarty?
Good heavens, you're right.
And a library of the nature that you describe might well contain treasures worthy of the professor's highly selective interests. I tell you, Watson, it sounds precisely like Moriarty. The inspection of the library in his ghostly guise, followed by the realization that if he's to secure without suspicion the treasures he covets, their owner's death is necessary. Come, Watson. Stop lounging in your chair.
Oh, but where are we off to?
Mr. Burley said he was returning to an ancestral home at the seaside in Cornwall.
Yes?
We shall join him there. It's been too long since I've crossed swords with such a masterly adversary as Professor Moriarty.
I tell you, Holmes, sea breezes, the salt air, and the sun shining on the water make a man realize that life is worth living.
If you don't stop admiring the surf instead of watching where you're putting your feet along the singularly aimless meanderings of this path, you won't have any life left to live. It's a good 200-foot drop to those extremely unpleasant-looking rocks below.
Yes, I see what you mean. I say, Holmes, just look down there. I never realized that those Cornish cliffs are simply riddled with caves.
Which no doubt accounts for their popularity with smugglers in bygone days. That and their inaccessibility, except from the sea.
The path seems to divide just up there ahead of us. Of course, that fool of an innkeeper didn't tell us which fork to take.
A problem, Watson, but not one incapable of solution.
May I ask how you propose to solve it? Deductive reasoning, I suppose?
Not at all. I shall merely inquire the proper direction from that boy who seems to be bird's nesting behind those bushes.
Oh.
Here, young fellow.
Hi, my lad.
Good morning, my boy.
I'm not doing nothing I shouldn't.
Of course not. There's nothing to be frightened of. We simply want to know the way to Burley Manor.
Eh?
Burley Manor, my boy. To the right or to the left?
Oh, you want Burley Manor, eh?
That is the impression we are trying to convey.
Everybody knows where Burley Manor is.
Well, we don't. Where is it?
Straight along the path. That way.
Pathetic sight. When will our civilization advance sufficiently to produce a race free of such pitiable creatures as that?
Oh, I don't know. The boy looks well-fed and happy. Why shouldn't he? Nothing to do but walk round barefoot and climb about the cliffs all day. Seems rather a pleasant life. I wouldn't mind being an idiot myself.
Jackie, where are you?
If you're looking for that barefooted boy, madam, he went off towards the cliffs.
Oh, then he won't be back for hours. He hunts birds' nests and eggs. Sells them for a few pennies.
Very sound hobby. I used to do a little bird's nesting myself when I was a boy.
I wanted him to run an errand for me, but it's no matter.
The boy told us that we should take this path to Burley Manor, but he seemed a trifle wanting.
If you're going to Burley Manor, I will be glad to show you the way. I'm Mrs. Stephen Burley.
Good Lord, not the...
Your father-in-law invited us down to see his library, Mrs. Burley. May I introduce Dr. Watson?
How do you do?
My name is Sherlock Holmes.
I'm very glad to know you both. Now, if you'll just follow me along the path, it's rather narrow, so I'm afraid we'll have to go in single file.
Just attractive girl, eh, Holmes?
Quite. Which makes me wonder all the more why she has evidently been weeping.
So that's Burley Manor. Impressive-looking old place, I must say. They built them to last in those days.
I suppose it is impressive. But is it a house which conveys to you an aura of happiness, Dr. Watson?
Well, I can't say that I've ever...
Oh, there's Stephen now on the terrace.
Lila, where the devil have you been?
This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson,
How do you
Stephen.
do?
How do you do?
Glad to know you.
Your father asked them down to see the library.
The library? Oh, stacks of weird old books in there. Stuff's never been catalogued. Can't make any sense out of it myself.
No, it's not my dish of tea either.
Felt like reading Hamlet one night. Found some old black letter thing I could barely spell my way through. And from the little I made out, it wasn't even the right form of the play.
Really, Mr. Burley? How was that?
Oh, it started out with some sort of a prologue. All about ghosts and revenge. Never saw that in Hamlet.
Stephen, where is your father? I haven't seen him since I packed his lunch. Has he gone off to the cliffs already?
You must have just missed him, Mr. Holmes. He often spends the day browsing about out there. Takes lunch along with him.
And he's gone off alone? Which path did he take?
The one toward the cliffs. But I don't...
Come, Watson. There's not a moment to lose.
Bushes. One might as well try to hurry through a bramble hedge.
I only pray we catch up to him in time.
What was all that about Hamlet, Holmes?
Only that there is indeed a treasure here, Watson, and one fully worthy of Professor Moriarty's distinguished attention.
Treasure? What sort?
From Stephen's unseeing description, I deduce that the Burley Library must contain the Hamlet.
The Hamlet? Oh, what's that?
The original play ascribed to Thomas Kidd, upon which Shakespeare based his version. Not a single copy is known to exist in the entire world, Watson. It would be absolutely priceless.
Good gracious me. I say, Holmes, look. Up there ahead. I just caught a glimpse of a man's back beyond those trees. It must be Burley.
Good. Mr. Burley! Mr. Burley!
The wind's blowing towards us. He can't hear you.
Hurry up, Watson.
We catch him beyond that bend in the path. Great heavens! How appalling. Why, the man's literally blown to bits.
As I feared, Watson. We were just too late.
It'll be interesting to see if Sherlock Holmes really was too late. But, men, it's never too late to help improve the appearance of your hair. If you're having trouble keeping your hair in place, if it's dry, lifeless looking, why not try Kreml Hair Tonic? Honestly, I think Kreml is by far one of the greatest hair dressings ever discovered. Kreml keeps hair in perfect order from morning until night, with a nice, healthy-looking luster. Yet Kreml never gives hair that cheap, greasy look. It never smothers hair down with sticky goo, which makes the hair and scalp feel so dirty. In addition, Kreml makes hair a cinch to comb. At the same time, it removes dandruff flakes. It relieves itching of dry scalp and makes your scalp feel so clean and refreshed. Next time you get a haircut, ask your barber for an application of Kreml. In the meantime, buy a bottle at any drug counter. Kreml. Kreml Hair Tonic. And now, Dr. Watson, what happened when you and Sherlock Holmes found that Mr. Burley had been the victim of an explosion on those Cornish cliffs?
Holmes sent me back to the house. As soon as I had reported what had happened, I hurried back to the cliffs, where I found Holmes standing lost in meditation, his tall, gaunt form silhouetted against the sea. Holmes, I've sent a servant from the house to fetch the police.
Good man.
What's that you've got there?
A few barely identifiable fragments of the lunchbox Burley was carrying. From the marks of the explosion, it is obvious that the bomb was in it.
I see. Great Scott, Holmes. Young Mrs. Burley said that she packed that lunchbox.
Precisely. And you will observe these footprints leading away here in the softer ground at the edge of the path.
Naked footprints. That barefoot boy, the idiot. He saw it happen, was frightened by the explosion, and ran away in a panic.
You'll notice how smooth the footprints are?
Smooth?
Never mind. There's little we can do now but await the police. And I doubt if it'll be long before they arrest the murderer. I should like to suggest, Superintendent Maddox, that you broaden the course of your inquiry.
If you don't mind, Mr. Holmes, I'll conduct my questioning in my own way.
Not at all, Superintendent.
A rude fellow.
Now, Mrs. Burley, it'll be a lot better for you if you help me instead of hindering me.
I've been trying to answer your questions, Superintendent. Although only a fool could fail to see where they're leading.
Now, Lila, the superintendent's only trying to find out the truth.
Very well. I'm innocent. And if all you want is the truth, you shall have it. I hated my father-in-law, and he hated me.
Lila, don't say any more.
And that isn't all. All the gossip you picked up from the servants this afternoon is true, Superintendent. My husband and I quarreled this morning. Quarreled bitterly. Stephen talked of divorce. His father's constant pressure has made him so confused that he no longer knows his own mind.
That's not true, Lila. I still love you.
So if that's what you wanted to know, Superintendent, yes, I'm glad he's dead. I hated him. I hated him.
I think that'll be quite enough, Mrs. Burley. I shall have to take you with me to the chief constable. The charge is murder.
Oh, you're crazy, Maddox. My wife didn't kill my father. The fact that she's told you all these things should be proof enough.
I'm sorry, Mr. Burley. I've got to do my duty as I see it. Come along, Mrs. Burley.
Very well. I'm ready.
I'll come along with you, my dear.
No, darling. Stay here and help Mr. Holmes in any way you can. That's the best way for you to help me.
She's quite right, my boy.
Now, come along, Mrs. Burley.
Mr. Holmes, I'll offer you any sum you wish to clear my wife.
Your father was my client. I already have a duty to find his murderer.
And you think that Lila...
I think the superintendent would have arrested her twice as quickly if he had known of the other possible motive, that in revenge she had conspired with Professor Moriarty against your father.
Then you're leaving? You won't help me?
There are loose ends to clear up, Mr. Burley. I must send Dr. Watson on an errand. As for myself, my first objective is to inspect the famous Burley Library.
you some sandwiches, Mr. Holmes. You've been in here for hours.
I'm afraid I've rather lost track of time.
Have you found what you wanted?
I did not find it. And nothing could be more significant than its absence. There is no sign here, Mr. Burley, of the black letter Hamlet which you described.
Well, that's funny. I distinctly remember that...
Ah, there you are, Holmes.
Any luck, Watson?
No, not a bit. I missed my supper and had a wild goose chase for my pains.
You mean you couldn't find the half-witted boy?
Checked every house in the village. He's nowhere about.
I'm afraid he will never return.
Dead? You mean you think that he saw too much?
I mean, Watson, that the person who planted that bomb also murdered that poor boy. If you could have some lanterns at once, please, Mr. Burley.
Of course.
I think we'd better follow the tracks of those bare feet to their final destination. Here, Watson. Hold that lantern over my shoulder, close to the ground. This moonlight isn't quite strong enough to... Ah, that settles it.
What is it?
This overturned pebble. See? The underside is still moist and discolored. Someone has been here very recently.
I must say, Mr. Holmes, I don't believe there's another man on Earth who could have brought us to this spot in the dark. By these minute indications you've discovered.
Quite elementary, my dear Mr. Burley. At all events, our tracking's at an end. This path seems to lead right down the face of the cliff.
If you call it a path, where the devil does it lead to?
If you look over the edge of the cliff...
Over here?
Careful. It's a 200-foot drop to those rocks below. You see a dark opening some 40 or 50 feet down?
One of the caves.
Precisely. And except for this extremely precipitous and presumably unknown path, a cave completely hidden and inaccessible save from below by way of the water. Come on.
Dark in here. Look out, it's very slippery. Careful, Holmes.
Look out for loose rocks.
Oh, blasted! I nearly ripped my ankle.
Look out, that boat is loose.
Good heavens, that just missed me.
What price the brisk sea breeze is now, Watson?
I wish we were back in Baker Street.
There. The worst bit's over. Here's the cave.
It's larger than it seemed from above.
Hold that lantern high above your head, Mr. Burley. This cave extends back quite a distance, apparently. Ah, there's something white beside those rocks.
Good gracious me, it's some sandwiches.
Precisely. The remains of your father's lunch, Mr. Burley.
But I don't understand.
And here, unless I'm greatly mistaken, in this pile of books we shall find the missing Hamlet. Ah, yes, just as I thought. Follow me, Mr. Burley. Keep that lantern high enough so that I may see what's ahead of us.
What the dickens are you doing with a revolver in your hand, Holmes?
I expect to find it of use at any moment, Watson. Ah, the end of our road.
It's my father.
It's Burley. He's asleep.
But he's wearing Jackie's clothes.
Precisely. Wake up, Mr. Burley. No, none of that. I've got you covered.
What's the meaning of this?
A very clever plot, Mr. Burley. You so hated your half-caste daughter-in-law that you determined to get rid of her before she could bear you a grandchild, even to the lengths of framing her for your own murder. We said that only she could have tampered with the lunchbox. Obviously, we should have thought, Mr. Burley. Only she and you could have done so.
Good heavens, Holmes.
Do you mean to say that my father...
Under the pretext of some childish game, Burley, you exchanged clothes with that poor boy. We saw him walking along dressed in your clothes. No wonder he didn't answer when I called your name. You watched him as he was blown to bits by the bomb, and then you disappeared.
You knew, Holmes, what we'd find here?
The bare footprints were smooth, Watson, which should have told me at once that they were the prints of Franklin Burley's feet. The boy Jackie, who spent his days climbing the cliffs, would have had horny, calloused feet. When I realized that, everything fell into place.
But the ghost in the library.
Pure invention. The accident, which doubtless was simply an accident, introduced Burley to you and suggested that I might prove an unimpeachable witness to his ostensible murder by his daughter-in-law. The story of the ghost was simply an ingenious device to pique my interest.
All right, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. As long as you're so smart, answer this question. What can you prove? I'll admit I changed clothes with the idiot. I'll say it was just a game. Then he was killed by the trap that had been meant for me. I was panicked and ran away.
Yes, panicked to the extent of bringing your most valuable books with you, Mr. Burley, the sale of which would be a great help in starting your new life. But there's more to it than that. How does the heir of an old but impoverished family do himself as well as you do? How does a country gentleman secure a well-made time bomb? And above all, how is it that you were able to describe Moriarty so precisely in order to tempt me?
I know.
You're one of Moriarty's henchmen, aren't you? It's always been a trick of his to use the old smuggler's passages in these caves. Perhaps you're even counting on him to complete your plan.
Look, Holmes, look! There's a motorboat coming in towards us.
There, standing on the prow, that unmistakable thin figure, that oscillating head. It's Moriarty. Get down, Watson, out of sight. Stand up early in the mouth of the cave. Let Moriarty see you in the light, but don't try to warn him. I assure you I won't hesitate to shoot you.
You don't dare kill me. You want me as a witness. Moriarty! It's a trap! Sherlock Holmes is here!
Moriarty's raising his rifle. He's shot him, Holmes. Moriarty's shot Burley.
Better luck next time, Holmes.
Good heavens!
Moriarty has made certain that no one shall turn King's evidence against him.
No. Don't try to stand up, man. You're badly hurt.
I'm dying. But there'll be no dying words from me for you to use in court. I see where you're looking. You want that Hamlet, don't you, Mr. Holmes?
Every scholar, every museum in the world would...
Well, it's mine. I'll never let it be seen. No one shall have it now. You least of all. I'm dying, and it dies with me.
Look out, Holmes!
Burley, stop!
Good heavens, he's thrown himself into the sea. He hasn't a chance on those jagged rocks.
Yes, and his body will be washed out to sea before we can get down there. Watson, an irreparable loss.
Loss? A confounded murderer like that?
I was referring to the copy of Hamlet. I'm afraid it's the most shocking loss to English literature since half of Milton's papers were burned by his cook.
So Professor Moriarty once again got the better of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, no, only in that he escaped capture, Mr. Bell. After all, Holmes solved the mystery and managed to save the reputation of the young and beautiful Mrs. Burley.
That's true, Dr. Watson. In just a moment, Dr. Watson will tell us about next week's story. But first, ladies, Sherlock Holmes is tops at solving mysterious problems. But here's one hair problem which those beautiful Powers models solved. And here it is.
We discovered there's nothing better than Kreml shampoo to bring out all the hair's natural glossy luster. Kreml shampoo actually keeps our hair shining bright for days.
And Kreml shampoo does such a marvelous cleaning job. Even in the hardest water, its rich, active foam penetrates right to the scalp and removes all loose dandruff flakes as well as the dirt. Kreml shampoo has been especially developed to glamour bathe each tiny strand of hair, to reveal all its glorious natural brilliance. Even after the first shampoo, your hair looks a vision of loveliness.
And don't forget to mention how its beneficial oil base helps keep hair from becoming dry or brittle.
Yes, I know. That's why my wife always uses Kreml shampoo for our youngsters' hair. In fact, everyone at our house uses Kreml shampoo because it's so mild and gentle on the hair. You can buy a bottle at any drug counter. Just ask for Kreml shampoo. Now, Dr. Watson, how about next week?
Well, now let me see. Next week, I think I'll tell you how Holmes unmasked the sinister Dr. Ponsonby, head of a boys' school, and thus saved the life of one of the pupils. I've always referred to this particularly bizarre adventure as the singular affair of the dying schoolboys.
Tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure was suggested by an incident in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Final Problem. Nigel Bruce appeared by permission of California Pictures, Tom Conway through the courtesy of Eagle Lion Pictures. This is Joseph Bell, speaking for Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo, inviting you to be with us next week at this same time when Dr. Watson will tell us about the singular affair of the dying schoolboys. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company. Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo present the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson and Tom Conway as Sherlock Holmes. Once again, it's time to call on our old friend, that incomparable host and storyteller, Dr. Watson. He's waiting for us in his familiar study. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Mr. Bell. I won't get up if you don't mind. This change in the weather has given me a twinge or two of rheumatism, I'm afraid.
No, I'm sorry to hear that, Dr. Watson.
We old fossils can't expect to be as hale and hearty as you young fellows, you know.
I don't know that I feel so young today, Dr. Watson. I stopped by the military academy this afternoon and saw my cousin there. He's 13 years old, and after an hour with him, I realized I'm really quite ancient.
13 years old. Oh, a fine age. He's happy at the school, Mr. Bell?
Crazy about it.
Yes, I'm sure that in this day and age, a boy almost looks forward to going to school. Conditions were far different in certain parts of England just before the turn of the century, I'm afraid. I'm thinking in particular of a school that Holmes and I had occasion to visit, and of the frightened, unhappy youngsters who lived there in mortal terror of their lives.
Oh, this has all the hallmarks of the beginning of a Sherlock Holmes adventure.
It is, my boy. It's a story I call The Singular Affair of the Dying Schoolboys. But before I begin, haven't you a message for our listeners?
Yes, I have. Folks, it looks as if we're in for plenty of excitement tonight with Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And men, I'll bet you'll be plenty excited about the great improvement in the appearance of your hair once you use Kreml hair tonic. Frankly, I've tried any number of hair dressings, but it took Kreml to really convince me that my hair can always be neat without having to plaster it down with grease or those sticky, gooey concoctions. And Kreml does lots more than keep hair looking attractive. It makes hair so much easier to comb and actually helps condition the hair, in that it leaves it feeling so much softer, easier to manage. At the same time, Kreml removes embarrassing dandruff flakes. It relieves itching due to dry scalp and leaves your scalp feeling so clean, so alive. Man, what a treat. Now be sure to buy a bottle at any drug counter, spelled Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic. Now, Dr. Watson, how about the singular affair of the dying schoolboys?
Well, Mr. Bell, that strange adventure began on a stormy September evening in Baker Street many, many years ago. All day long the wind had screamed and the rain had beaten against our windows. Shortly after dinner, there was the old familiar jangle on our front doorbell. And a few moments later, Mrs. Hudson ushered a distinguished visitor into the room. As he stood there in front of the flickering firelight, I could see that he was a good-looking man and also that he was in a state of considerable excitement.
Now, Lord Manders, if you will just give us the facts.
Well, Mr. Holmes, 3 years ago, I was a passenger on that ill-fated ship, the Sophie Anderson. She was wrecked in a gale, and I was the only survivor. I clung to a piece of broken spar and was washed ashore, and after that, for over 2 years, I lived alone on an island in the Indian Ocean. Naturally, when the Sophie Anderson foundered, I was believed to be dead. My young brother, Eric, who was next in line, inherited the estate under the guardianship of our uncle.
There must have been quite a lot of confusion when you arrived home this year, Lord Manders.
There was, Dr. Watson, but not for the reason you suppose. I landed in England to find that my brother had died last December.
Oh, indeed, I'm very sorry.
He died under very peculiar circumstances. That's why I've come to you, Mr. Holmes.
What were those circumstances?
My uncle sent Eric to a school on the Welsh moors, not far from Cardiff. A school known as Ponsonby Hall. He died in the school infirmary there, supposedly of pneumonia.
And you have some reason to believe it was not pneumonia?
Nothing definite. I've been down to the school, but Dr. Ponsonby, the owner, was too ill to see me. However, I did talk to a frightening woman there, who's the matron of the place, a Mrs. Arkwright. I became suspicious. So I stayed on and, for a few days, made some local inquiries.
With what results?
Ponsonby Hall has a black name with the villagers, Mr. Holmes. 5 boys have died there in the last 2 years under circumstances similar to my brother's.
Good gracious me.
I presume that you immediately had an accounting with your uncle?
My uncle had settled another account before my return, Mr. Holmes. He died of a heart attack last February. But I am certain he was responsible for Eric's death. You see, he stood to inherit the estate. It may sound incredible, but I believe Eric was murdered at Ponsonby Hall.
Murdered in a boys' school? Oh, come, sir. Such things can't happen in this 19th century of ours.
But they can, Watson, and do, unfortunately.
You don't mean it?
I do. A private school situated in a desolate spot and operated by an unprincipled scoundrel could provide excellent and profitable opportunities for removing unwanted relatives.
What a ghastly thought.
Mr. Holmes, I know that Eric's dead and nothing can bring him to life again. But I can try and avenge his death and bring his murderer to justice. You will help me, won't you?
Yes, Lord Manders, I will. If these shocking occurrences have been taking place, we may be able at least to prevent further tragedies. Watson, suppose we join Lord Manders on the West of England Express tonight, and tomorrow see what can be done to penetrate the black clouds that surround Ponsonby Hall.
We're walking in the wrong direction, Mr. Holmes. The school's behind us.
And before going there, I thought we might profitably pay a visit here in the village to Llewellyn Coffin.
Oh, who's he?
The local undertaker.
An undertaker named Coffin? That's very funny, isn't it? Coffin, undertaker.
Quite. But try and control your amusement, will you, Watson?
Oh, sorry, Albert.
Here's his establishment now.
Good day, gentlemen.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes, sir. That's my name, Coffin.
We're strangers in these parts, and we're in search of information. I'm hoping, Mr. Coffin, that you'll be able to help us.
What I can do, sir, I will, and do it gladly.
I understand that you've had an unusually large proportion of business from Ponsonby Hall in the past 2 years.
5 boys died, didn't they?
5 boys it was.
Mr. Coffin, we've heard some strange stories in the village.
Yes, stories that make us wonder if those deaths were from natural causes.
Gentlemen, I'm a simple man, look you. A man who plies his trade but cannot afford to ask questions. What goes on at Ponsonby Hall, and I'll not say strange things haven't happened there, is none of my business.
Then let me appeal to your sympathies. My young brother died at Ponsonby Hall last December. You must have buried him.
Your brother? Well, now look you, that makes it different. But you'll not say anything up at the hall, sir. Dr. Ponsonby's a savage man.
Don't worry on that score, Mr. Coffin.
What do you after knowing, sir?
All the 5 boys were supposed to have had pneumonia, I understand.
That's what the medical report said.
Who signed those reports?
Dr. Ponsonby himself. He's a regular medical doctor, look you.
How very convenient. No questions had to be asked. Mr. Coffin, when you prepared those bodies for burial, did you notice anything unusual about them? Anything to make you think their deaths were possibly not caused by pneumonia?
No, sir.
Think now.
Well, now that you mention it, there was one thing I was after noticing.
Oh, what was that, my good man?
The boys had a strange look on their faces as they lay there, as if something had frightened the wits out of them just before they died.
That's very odd. The face of anyone dying from pneumonia would be in repose.
Did you notice anything else, Mr. Coffin? Any other peculiarity?
Well, there was one thing, sir, that gave me to thinking. All the boys had marks on them. Scratch marks they were on their necks or shoulders.
Perhaps they were bites. Remember Dr. Rylott of Stoke Moran, Holmes?
Did these marks look like the bites of a snake, Mr. Coffin?
No, that they weren't. Look you, I know a snake bite when I see one.
Didn't these marks make you suspicious?
That they did, sir. And when I saw them on the boys, I took my courage in my hands and asked Dr. Ponsonby.
And what did he say?
Inoculation marks. He said that he had tried to save them with some newfangled medicine.
No autopsy was held on the boys?
No, sir. Dr. Ponsonby is the only doctor in these parts, look you. He gave the certificates. Who was to ask any questions?
Exactly. Come on, Watson, Lord Manders. This has been a very promising start. Thank you, Mr. Coffin. You've been most helpful.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, gentlemen, but please don't be after repeating what I said.
Well, Mr. Holmes, I think you'll agree my suspicions were well-grounded.
Yes, and we'll lose no time investigating this matter. I think we may work faster if we divide our forces. I shall return to the inn and compose a telegram that I shall ask you to send for me, Lord Manders.
Of course, Mr. Holmes.
Aren't you going to Ponsonby Hall, Holmes?
Not immediately. However, you, my dear Watson, can be my advance guard.
Me?
Yes. I think that your open countenance, combined with that delightful Scottish accent you sometimes assume, plus an appropriate name, should lull Dr. Ponsonby into believing that he has another wealthy customer who needs his very specialized services.
Well, Holmes, I'll do my best. Just the same, I'll be very relieved when you get on the scene.
I'm Mrs. Arkwright, the school matron. Whom did you wish to see?
I want to have a word with Dr. Ponsonby. My name is Angus McLaughlin, and I'm most anxious to send my young cousin here.
Oh?
Aye, he needs discipline, and I'm told that you dinna pamper a young lad here.
Please come in. I'm sure Dr. Ponsonby will see you.
Thank you, Mrs. Arkwright.
Come in. Go in, please.
Dr. Ponsonby?
Yes, please sit down, won't you?
Thank you, sir. My name is Angus McLaughlin. I've travelled all the way from Aberdeen to see you. I was told that at your school you at least know how to discipline a lad.
Well, Mr. McLaughlin, in our modest way, we endeavour to inculcate our students with a sense of responsibility.
Aye.
I was about to have a glass of wine. Perhaps you'd care to join me?
That's very kind of you, Dr. Ponsonby. I'd like to.
You wish to send a relative here, Mr. McLaughlin?
Aye, sir, a young cousin of mine, if you'll take him.
Here's your wine, Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you, sir. And to your very good health. That's very good.
Tell me more about your cousin, sir. Before I accept a new student, I like to know as much about him as possible.
Well, I'll be quite frank with you. He's 13 years old, and he's a young devil, and an inconvenient young devil, too. You see, Dr. Ponsonby, I'm his guardian. You follow me?
No, sir, I don't think I do.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a poor man, and I'd be a very wealthy one if it weren't for that boy. The whippersnapper is the only person who stands between me and my dead brother's fortune. I wouldn't be sorry if anything were to happen to him. Am I making myself quite clear, Doctor?
Much clearer, Mr. McLaughlin. Another glass of wine?
Thank you. Well, it's very good.
Mr. McLaughlin, why not put all your cards on the table? So much simpler that way.
Very well. Does £10,000 mean anything to you, Dr. Ponsonby?
Dear me, yes. The scholastic profession is notoriously unremunerative.
If my young cousin were to be taken ill, perhaps, shall we say, with pneumonia, if he were to die here at your school, what was I saying? I'd pay you £10,000. And now, sir, I can't be more explicit than that. No, can I?
I don't think so. By the way, Mr. McLaughlin, your Scottish accent is beginning to disappear. Such a pity. It was quite colourful.
This wine's drugged. You haven't touched your wine. It's drugged.
I'm a most abstemious man. Particularly on occasions like this, Dr. Watson.
Dr. Watson, how did you know my name?
Even in this remote spot, I've seen photographs of you and your friend, the famous Sherlock Holmes. I'm just a little hurt that you both thought I was stupid enough to be fooled so easily. You seem dreadfully sleepy, Dr. Watson.
Sleep, yes, I've got to go to sleep.
And sleep well, my friend. I only hope that you don't have too much trouble waking up.
In just a moment, we'll find out just how much trouble Dr. Watson does have in waking up. But first, have you noticed how men are taking a greater interest in their appearance lately? Competition today is keener than ever, and I'm sure you'll agree one of the greatest assets to a man's appearance is well-groomed hair. So men, let me give you this tip about Kreml Hair Tonic and why it's preferred by so many of America's most successful and prosperous executives. Kreml, K-R-E-M-L, keeps dry, ruffled hair neatly in place all day long. It gives it such a handsome, healthy-looking luster, too. Yet Kreml never leaves hair with that offensive, cheap, greasy look. It never leaves hair and scalp full of sticky goo, which feels so dirty. Kreml always looks and smells so clean on both hair and scalp. It gives hair that attractive, natural He-Man look, which certainly hits the jackpot with the ladies. And don't forget, Kreml does lots more than keep hair looking handsome. Let me repeat, Kreml does lots more than keep hair looking handsome. It makes hair feel softer, easier to manage. At the same time, it removes dandruff flakes and makes the scalp feel so clean and invigorated. Men, use Kreml hair tonic daily. And see if you don't say, my hair never looked better. My scalp never felt cleaner. Well, Dr. Watson, you certainly left me teetering on the edge of my chair. We left you drugged in the schoolmaster's study. What happened next?
Well, my first conscious recollection was to find myself with a violent pounding in my head, lying in a small clearing between some trees. Bending over me with a look of deep concern on his face was my old friend Sherlock Holmes.
Watson. Watson, old chap, are you all right?
Yes, I got a frightful headache, Holmes. What are you doing there in those clothes with that droopy moustache?
It proved a good enough passport to secure me employment at the stables here.
How did you get me out of Ponsonby's study?
The stables command an excellent view of the school building. Your long absence worried me, and when Dr. Ponsonby finally appeared, alone, I became suspicious. So I took advantage of his absence, slipped through the study window, and rescued you.
Well, thank heavens you did. He gave me drugged wine. It's a funny thing, Holmes. I was probably delirious, but I swear that I saw a woman's handbag on the table. A pink and black beaded bag, and it was alive and moved.
Great heavens! That confirms my worst suspicions.
Did you see it too?
No, it wasn't there when I came in. Somebody, probably Mrs. Arkwright, removed it. Watson, you were never closer to death. I blame myself for having allowed you to tackle Dr. Ponsonby alone.
Don't reproach yourself, Holmes. Where's Lord Manders?
Waiting at the inn for an answer to my telegram. He is to meet us later behind the lodge gates.
What's our next move?
To go to the stables, dirty you up a bit and get you a change of clothes. Then we'll return to the attack. There's desperate work ahead of us.
Here, this way, sir.
What, my man?
Don't look so alarmed, Lord Manders.
Dr. Watson, I wouldn't have recognized you. What's happened?
Trouble. I had to assume a disguise, too. You brought an answer to Holmes's telegram?
Yes, in my pocket. Where is he?
He went over to the main school building and asked me to...
The things that the second cook, an acidulated woman of dubious charms, is most susceptible to flattery. Over a glass of stout, she quite inadvertently gave me 3 vital clues.
What were they?
Firstly, that all 5 of the unfortunate boys died in the same small room. Secondly, that fatal room is directly under the room of Mrs. Arkwright.
And she's capable of anything, if you ask me.
The third clue makes our next step an urgent one. A boy by the name of Carruthers Minor was moved into that room yesterday. He's supposed to have an extremely bad cold. Dr. Ponsonby is afraid it might turn into pneumonia.
Good heavens.
Exactly, Watson. I suggest we lose no time in visiting Carruthers Minor. Though I'm sure Dr. Ponsonby would consider it unethical, this is one occasion when another doctor's opinion is absolutely vital. There, Carruthers. This is Dr. Watson. He's come to make you well.
You can't make me well. Dr. Ponsonby says I've got pneumonia.
Oh, nonsense, my dear boy. You've got a slight cold, that's all.
If Dr. Ponsonby says I've got pneumonia's what I've got.
Nothing of the kind, my boy. Nothing of the kind.
Watson, you notice this bed is anchored to the floor? It can't be moved. What does that suggest to you?
Well, again, it reminds me of Stoke Moran and Dr. Rylott. But I don't see any bell pull.
No, Watson. No bell rope is needed, because no murderous snake is involved in this plot. But look up there, directly above the bed.
Small trapdoor.
Leading from Mrs. Arkwright's room. Now the whole picture's clear. The trapdoor, the strange marks on the dead boys, the beaded bag that you saw.
What was that?
I don't know. Lord Manders is standing guard in the hallway.
It's Dr. Ponsonby. He's come to look at my pneumonia.
Mrs. Arkwright.
I know you were expecting Lord Manders. He's lying in the hallway. He was looking in the wrong direction, unfortunately for him.
Don't let me
Mrs. Arkwright, I'd put that revolver away if I were you. I doubt if you know how to handle it.
I assure you that I do. Having used the butt end of it on your friend so successfully should prove that fact.
Grab her, Watson.
Right you are.
Get away from
Drop
me!
that revolver, Mrs. Arkwright.
That's right! Let the old girl have it!
Drop that revolver, do you hear me? That's better. I say, Holmes, she's fainted.
Good. Help me carry her up to her room.
Well, what about young Carruthers and Lord Manders?
We must remove them to a place of safety, and then, Watson, all that remains is to call on the giggling Dr. Ponsonby.
It's very dark in here, Holmes. I don't like this at all.
Quiet. Somebody's coming. Good evening, Dr. Ponsonby. Let me light your desk lamp for you.
You startled me. Who are you? What are you doing in my study?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Watson, you've already met.
Yes, we've met you, scoundrel.
Oh, yes. My friend, the Scotsman. I was expecting you both. By the way, please put that revolver away. Firearms make me nervous.
Dr. Ponsonby, I know how those 5 boys were murdered. I would venture the opinion that you once spent some time for the sake of your health in America. In Arizona Territory, I'd say.
I wonder what makes you think that, Mr. Holmes. I've never been in America in my life.
And yet I'm certain that someone here spent some time in the vicinity of the Gila River.
Well, I understand that Mrs. Arkwright was in America a few years ago.
Mrs. Arkwright? Dr. Ponsonby, is it possible you're hoping to transfer our suspicions to your accomplice?
My accomplice? You talk in riddles, Mr. Holmes. It's most confusing.
Then shall we be more specific? You consider Carruthers Minor to be quite ill, I understand.
Yes, I'm dreadfully worried about him.
Then let me tell you, Dr. Ponsonby, that I examined the boy only a few minutes ago, and as a medical man, I say that he only has a slight cold.
Then obviously we disagree in our diagnosis, Dr. Watson. After all, you're just a general practitioner, whereas I specialize...
Yes, we know what you specialize in.
Gentlemen, I suggest the 3 of us go over to Carruthers' room and hold a consultation. It's just possible that his health has taken a sudden turn for the better.
But the bed's empty. Carruthers Minor has gone.
Yes, Dr. Ponsonby. And suppose you take his place.
All right, I've got him, Holmes. Leave me alone. What are you going to do?
Lash you to this bed and see if you can stomach your own filthy medicine.
This is outrageous.
Of course. I thought that if we were to reconstruct your crimes with you as the victim, we might persuade you to confess.
Mrs. Arkwright! Mrs. Arkwright, help!
I'm afraid she can't help you. She's in her room with the door locked from the outside.
There we are, Holmes. He's lashed up so that he can't move.
But you don't understand. Mrs. Arkwright has his instructions. You're...
Great heavens! What was that?
Mrs. Arkwright. It came from the room above. Come on, Watson. Quick, up the stairs.
She's fainted again.
Feel her pulse.
I'm just going to... Holmes, there is no pulse. She's dead.
The poison works fast. Observe those marks on her wrist.
Looks as if some animal had bitten it.
It has. And that means the animal's loose in this room.
Great heavens.
Somehow it must have escaped from its cage and turned on her. Guard the door, Watson. Our lives are not safe until we've found this monster.
I don't understand.
Look. Look! Under that washstand there.
Good heavens, it's that beaded handbag again. And it's moving.
Give me your walking stick, Watson.
Here.
There. This diabolical creature's done enough damage for one lifetime.
It's dead, Holmes, but what in thunder is it? It looks like some sort of lizard. It's all pink and covered all over with black scales. That's what made me think it was a handbag. But I've never seen a lizard as large as that.
Of course you haven't. So let me introduce you to the peculiar villain of this piece. His name is Heloderma suspectum, better known as the Gila monster, indigenous to the Gila River in America.
I've never seen anything like it before. How on earth did you recognize it, Holmes?
When Mr. Coffin, the undertaker, mentioned those strange marks on the dead boys, I was reminded of an article I'd read recently on venomous lizards.
So that telegram you sent
was to the Museum of Natural History. Their answer confirmed my suspicions. The Gila monster's bite produces almost instantaneous death, and yet it's a poison that would be extremely hard to identify. the fixed bed in the room below us, the trap door directly above it in this room, and the help of an unscrupulous accomplice like Mrs. Arkwright makes the rest of the picture very clear.
And now that the monster's dead, how are you going to frighten Dr. Ponsonby into a confession?
Dr. Ponsonby need not know the animal's dead. Examine the floor, Watson. See if you can find that trap door.
Right you are, Holmes.
Meanwhile, I'll see if I can find some cord or string. Here's a ball of twine on the dressing table, placed there for use in the intended murder of Carruthers Minor, no doubt.
Found the trap, Holmes. There's a ring here in the floor and a section of the carpet's been cut out.
Good. And now to attach the twine to the body of the Gila monster. So. All right, Watson. Open the trap door.
Very well, Holmes.
Well, Dr. Ponsonby, have you changed your mind?
Mrs. Arkwright! Mrs. Arkwright!
She is dead, Dr. Ponsonby. Your Gila monster turned on her.
No! No!
I'm going to lower the animal, Watson. There we are.
Oh, get away from me!
I think a few more feet will do the trick, Holmes.
Yes. There.
Take it away! I'll tell you anything! Everything!
You'll sign a confession?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, yes, I will! Just take that beast away and I'll sign anything!
We'll be down, Dr. Ponsonby.
Well, Holmes, thank heavens that's done with. What a shocking affair.
Yes, Watson, but not without a note of poetic justice.
What do you mean?
Well, isn't it poetic justice that a dead reptile should be instrumental in bringing a live one to the gallows?
Quite a gruesome finale, Dr. Watson.
It certainly was, Mr. Bell. All in all, one of the most unpleasant adventures that Holmes and I ever encountered.
In just a moment, Dr. Watson will be back to tell us about next week's story. Girls, how would you like a thrilling new experience? Then just listen to how beautiful Powers models glamour bathe their hair.
We certainly were thrilled to discover the amazing beautifying action of Kreml shampoo. It actually glamour bathes each tiny strand of hair and leaves hair sparkling for days with natural glossy luster.
And Kreml shampoo is so mild and gentle. It positively contains no harsh caustics or chemicals. Instead, it has a beneficial oil base which helps keep the hair from becoming dry or brittle.
Oh, and don't forget how its luxurious active foam penetrates right to the scalp and removes all loose dandruff as well as the dirt.
Girls, why not follow the advice of these $1 million Powers models and glamour bathe your hair with beautifying Kreml shampoo? It takes only 10 minutes right at home. Kreml, Kreml shampoo. Now, Dr. Watson, how about next week?
Well, let me see. Next week. Next week, I think I'll tell you the adventure of the genuine Garnerius, in which Holmes solved the mystery of Drenko, a famous violinist, who was found dead in a locked room clutching a suicide note, but who nevertheless had been murdered.
Tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure was suggested by an incident in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Speckled Band. Nigel Bruce appeared by permission of California Pictures, Tom Conway through the courtesy of Eagle Lion Pictures. This is Joseph Bell speaking for Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo, and inviting you to be with us next week at this same time when Dr. Watson will tell us about the adventure of the genuine Garnerius.